Hello everyone, in this video let us take a look at AutoBlocks. AutoBlocks is the latest offering from Adaptavist. In case you have ever used apps like Scriptner for Jira on Cloud, Project Configurator, Theme Builder for Confluence, then I'm sure you know about Adaptavist. And I have been playing with AutoBlocks for the past couple of days, and I think it is amazing. And I also want to show it to you. In this video, of course, we'll do an introduction of AutoBlocks, and like always, I will first start with the marketplace listing. So before you can start using AutoBlocks, before I can start showing you AutoBlocks, we need to first understand what exactly is AutoBlocks and whether it can do anything useful for you or not. So if you look at the marketplace listing, it says that, by the way, the marketplace listing has a lot of emphasis on the word integration. So if you look at the listing, it says Atlassian integration, automation and migrations made simple. Integrate Jira, Confluence and Bitbucket with all your tools. Now, AutoBlocks is a platform for integration and of course for doing automation. That is what this page is trying to convey. And if you look at these screenshots, you will probably get an idea about what this tool can do. So this particular screenshot has listing of different applications, different tools like Slack, Jira Cloud, Tempo, and if you notice on the next screenshot, you can actually build your automation using a Blockly, these different blocks. So people who are not massively comfortable writing code, or maybe they just want to get started quickly, they can start looking at these blocks to build their logic and of course do automation. And of course we have the capability of writing code as well. So this code is in TypeScript. So AutoBlocks supports JavaScript and TypeScript. I don't know any of these languages, but I know how to use Stack Overflow, so I'm not massively worried. So apart from using blocks, you can write code. So there are a lot of capabilities, and today I want to basically in this video I want to show you two things. Number one, I will write a simple hello world program because that is mandatory. And the second thing that I will do, I will connect to one Jira instance and I will retrieve details of an issue. So these two examples are very simple examples, but hopefully it will give you enough idea and knowledge of how to get started. And this won't be the only video that I will be making on AutoBlocks. Like my other video series, I will be making series of videos for AutoBlocks as well, because I think this is really interesting and it can do a lot of wonderful things. And because automation is an area of interest of me, I want to of course spend time. I want to of course show you different use cases where AutoBlocks can be useful. Now, before I jump into the tool, I also want to talk about a couple of other things. Now, if you look at the marketplace listing, it says here in the details section that build solution, not infrastructure, thanks to the managed connections and authentication. Now imagine that you have to build an interface where, let us say, you have to connect Jira to ServiceNow. So you can do that with the help of REST API. You can write your own interface, you can host it somewhere, maybe on a server, and when you have the capability of writing scripts, you of course have to manage the authentication, you have to manage the connection. It can be done, but of course you need a development background, you need a developer to do it. But with the help of AutoBlocks, you can actually do these things very easily. You can actually connect to these applications using their online wizard, which I will show you. There is a the second point here talks about managed API. Now, if you have been following my Jira REST API videos, I have talked about different things that you can do with Jira using API. For example, things like adding a work log, creating an issue, getting the list of, spaces, and updating something in Jira. So when you are interacting with Jira using REST API, you have to know the endpoint, you have to know, in most cases, what parameters you need to pass, and the JSON body. That is the most important part because it is not always obvious, and you have to read the documentation. So it is not massively difficult, but you have to spend time in the beginning. And what I normally do, I keep a list of these endpoints with sample JSON body in my Talent API tester, which is an extension that you can install in Chrome-based in Chromium-based browsers, and I use it for testing the endpoints. You can also use Postman, but in case you're using AutoBlocks, you have the option to use managed APIs, which is a bit similar to what you can do with Java APIs in case you're using IntelliJ. So when I have to write scripts using a script for Jira, I use, of course, IntelliJ, and I have a setup where I have IntelliJ, which is connected to my Jira source code. So when you're writing code using IntelliJ for Jira Server, you have the option to take a look at the different methods that you have available. For example, if you're doing something with the component manager, or maybe if you're doing something with, let us say, issue object or user object, the moment you press dot, it will give you all the methods, which is amazing because you can write code quickly. If you're using script now for Jira and you're not really using IntelliJ, you're using, let us say, script console, you also have some of these capabilities in the new code editor where you can press Control or Command space, and it will give you those suggestions. You can do something similar with the managed APIs. It will basically let you interact with Jira or those APIs with easy to use methods. And the new, or basically I should say that not the new, but it is of course a new tool. But the core editor that we have in AutoBlocks will help you and write your code easily and quickly. And it can also listen and respond to various events. For example, if you want to, let us say, create an issue in Jira instance, and the same issue has to be created somewhere else, you can actually configure your AutoBlocks, and you can actually use a webhook in Jira. And the moment you create an issue, you can actually listen and listen to those events using webhooks, and you can actually do something, which is amazing because using AutoBlocks, you can basically sync to different Jira instances if you want. It is a possibility. So just wanted to mention it. So let us now take a look at the tool itself. And what I will do, I will go to autoblocks.com. So if you want to start using AutoBlocks, you can go to autoblocks.com, and of course you can read about what AutoBlocks is all about. I want to not waste too much time. I want to quickly sign in. You can of course sign up in the beginning. So the moment you sign in, you will notice this heart, and now we are in. And the very first thing that you need to do is you need to create a new workspace. Now workspace is a place where you can basically build your automation. Before I build a workspace, I want to basically show you the connections. Now today, as I mentioned before, we will do two things. We will print simple hello world message, and we will connect to a Jira instance. Now before you can connect to a Jira instance, before you can do something with that Jira instance, you have to basically create a connection where you have to authorize your connection. So right now, if you click on new connection, you already have plenty of options to choose from. So you can connect to Bitbucket Cloud, Bitbucket On-Premise, Confluence Cloud, Confluence On-Premise, Google Calendar, Google Sheets. I love Google Sheets because I spend a lot of time playing with spreadsheets. So I quite enjoy Google Apps Script, which is amazing because you can do wonderful things with Google Calendar or Google Sheets. I also do a lot of things on the spreadsheet, just in Excel. So this is, of course, personally an area of interest for me. So I'm really happy to see Google Sheets here. Maybe you want to export your Jira issues in Google Sheet. Who knows? I mean, we can do a lot of wonderful things. Maybe you click a button somewhere and your Jira Sheets will pull in issues for you, and it will maybe do further processing of those issues. There are a lot of possibilities. And you can also connect to an HTTP endpoint, and you have other tools like ServiceNow, Slack, and Tempo. So there are a lot of connections that you can create. But right now in my Jira, in my AutoBlocks, I have connections to Jira and Confluence, which I will show you in this video. And before we can do something with the Jira instance, I want to, of course, write a simple hello world program, because that is very important, just to get a sense of accomplishment. So you can create a new workspace, and the moment you create a new workspace, you have the option to create a blank workspace, which we will do. But in case you're looking for some ideas, in case you're looking for some recipes, you can take a look at these options. For example, you can take a look at compare issue links in two Jira instances, compare page history differences in Confluence Cloud, create a Tempo work log, which is great because people want timesheets to be maybe transferred or maybe to be added in Jira. So I guess this is actually a requirement in a lot of organizations where they have their own tool for timesheets, but they also want to keep track of things in Jira. So you can, I mean, I'm happy to see Tempo here. What else? So we can also take a look at Confluence recipes. We also have a lot of recipes for Slack, but of course we don't really want to complicate things in this video. We want to do a very simple thing, and that is start with hello world. So what I'll do, I'll name my workspace. So I want to name it as hello world because that is what we are trying to do. Preferences, we have to select the language here, which is by default TypeScript strict, which is of course the recommended language. You can also use JavaScript if you want, but because I don't know any of these languages, so I'll stick to TypeScript, which is the recommendation. And I guess I'll figure out. It is not very complicated, to be honest. I tried writing few scripts and I was able to. So for doing something with your workspace, you have to select these blocks that you have on the left hand side. And the good thing is that you have different libraries that you can choose from. So for example, if you're doing something, if you're building an automation with or for Bitbucket, or maybe you're doing some automation for maybe doing something with Slack or ServiceNow or Tempo, you can select these libraries, and for each and every library you will have, I believe, a set of blocks that you can use. But we are doing something very basic right now, so we'll select basic, and for basic we will start with a manual trigger because I want to show you how you can trigger this automation manually. Now for this example, for the very first example, what I'll do, I'll write my code here in the code editor, and this code editor is actually a bit smart because I was playing with it. It is not just a simple editor. You can do few advanced things here. So if you notice this, to start with, you have autocomplete. So if you're doing console dot, if you want to see what all you can do with console, you can do dot, and it will give you the options like console.log. For this example, we have to create a function that we will manually trigger. And what I like doing always, I always try to keep a list of all these scripts with me somewhere on my local on my local computer. So for this example, I will use this simple function to display a message, hello world message. So I'll simply type in. I can actually copy it, but I want to show you the code editor, that how easily you can type, and you can use the features of the code editor. I'll probably bring my Emacs to the same to the same screen, so I can show you, and I can also look at the script at the same time. All right, so what I'll do is I'll probably move it to this side. All right, so export function, and the good thing about this particular code editor is that you if you write something which is not really proper, if there is a mistake in your code, then you will get some indications, like this red line, which is great because I don't know TypeScript. I want to know if I'm doing this right or not, or rightly or not. So let us see. So I'll give this method a name, this function a name, which is hello world, and what I'll do is I'll do console.log, and if you notice, because I'm typing it, I am able to type it very easily. It is a bit similar to what you do in Visual Studio Code. So I guess if you have been using those code editors, you will appreciate these features, these smart features. And this is it, I guess. So if you notice, if you hover your mouse on top of a function, you will get these snippets or the pop-up messages, these pop-ups where you will and you can learn you can learn a bit more about what this function can do. And I will show you another example where we will take a look at the managed APIs, where we will connect to Jira. So now we will run it. If I go back to my workspace, to run this particular code, I can click on this run button, and the moment you click on it, you will notice that on the left hand side you have the invocation of this particular workspace, and we have the message hello world. So a simple example, nothing complicated, but I think it's very important to do something very simple in the beginning so that we can move on to a bit advanced example, and that is what we'll do now. So the next example that I want to give you and show you is how to connect to a Jira instance. And for that, of course, I will create a new workspace. I will probably click on it, and I don't really want to shall I select Jira Cloud, because we are doing something with Jira Cloud. Let me just move this to another desktop. Okay, so we have a blank workspace. I will click on it, and what I want to do is I want to name it as get issue. So in this example, I want to get the details of one issue, just one issue. Simple example, but I think you will appreciate, and you will notice that how easily you can connect to a Jira instance and do things with the help of managed APIs. So for this example, because we are doing something with Jira, what I will do, I will add one library, and I will then select Jira Cloud Platform, and OK. And because we have to first connect to a Jira instance, I will select the module for connection. So I will simply click on it, and I will select the connection or the Jira instance which I have already connected to. So my Jira instance is a Jira tutorial, which is I mean this is just a name of my Jira instance, and it is using the Jira Cloud API, the Jira Cloud Connection API, which is there for you already. You just have to use it. That is it. And I will also give this connection a name, because we will be using this name in the code. So I will name it as Jira tutorial, because I want to make sure I'm connecting to the right Jira instance. So we have the connection, and now we have to use the connection. And for using the connection, we can of course use these libraries. If you click on the if you click on these blocks, so these blocks, if you notice, it says when an issue is created in that instance, then do something. You can use these blocks, but right now we are simply fetching the information. So what we'll do, we'll use the basic one, and we'll use a simple manual trigger, because I want to click on this button and I want to retrieve something from Jira instance. Now, for my manual trigger, I will write code where I will pull in something from a Jira instance. So what I'll do, I'll try to use this function called basically right now we are using this manual trigger event because we want to click on the button, and I actually have a code for it already that I will simply copy. I don't really want to type the whole thing from scratch, which is, we don't really have too much here, so I'll probably write it. So I don't think it will take a lot of time. So I'll get rid of I'll probably write code from here. So the first thing that I need to do is I need to make a connection to the Jira instance. So using this line, import Jira from .connection/Jira tutorial, which is the name of the connection that we have already configured in the workspace. So I'll write it here, import Jira, and okay, so I need to use from. And if you're making a mistake, by the way, it will actually show you. If you notice here, this code editor will give you some indications that you are maybe not doing the right thing, which is great. So if I wait for it, now this red line has gone. It means that there is no error in this particular code. If you, let us say, enter Jira tutorial D, which is not really a connection, it will show you this red line, and if you hover your mouse on top of it, it will say that Jira is declared, but its value is never read. Cannot find module connections/Jira tutorial D, but now we can fix it. So I really appreciate this nice feature. So we have to use that Jira, because we have to use the we basically have to do something with that particular Jira variable that we have declared on top. So what we'll do, I'll just take a look at the code. So we have to basically make a call to this Jira instance. So I will declare one. It is a bit similar to what you do when you make a REST call. So response. Okay, I'm used to the Emacs shortcuts. So I pressed Control A to reach the start of this line, but no, I need to use the home and end key. So I'll use this Jira variable, which is of course, which can actually use the managed API. So if you do Jira, and the moment you now press dot, you have the option to now take a look at different things that you can do with this variable. So right now we are trying to do something with maybe an issue or maybe a project. So let us do issue, and for that particular issue we have to maybe get the details of that particular issue. So what I'll do, I'll probably use something like issue ID or key, and we have to specify the issue ID because we have to retrieve the issue details. So you can pass in the issue ID or issue key. So I'll probably use SD-maybe 26 because I know this is one of the key in my Jira instance, and this is it. And let me also try one thing very quickly because I'm playing with it. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to also take a look at the issue and the details of the issue. So if I open my Jira instance, I'll probably not open the Jira instance, but I'll probably look at the JSON body of that issue if I make a REST call to that Jira instance. So this is the issue where I have the JSON and I have the ID, the key, all the fields. I can take a look at the priority or maybe the summary. So using JSON, you can retrieve the issue details, but we're doing it using the get issue managed API of AutoBlocks, which is basically letting us do these things very easily. So I don't have to worry about the endpoint. I can use get issue, which is amazing. Now we have the response, and we have to use the response somewhere. So what I'll do, I'll try to maybe print it, I guess, somewhere. So I'll do console.log, and let us just try to take a look at all the fields, I guess. So if you do console.log and response.fields, if you run this, let us see. So you have the same JSON response here, and what I will do now, I will try to maybe focus on one specific field, maybe not everything. So let us say if you want to just retrieve the, let us say summary. So let us click on it, and maybe I'll select fields dot. So the moment you press dot, it will give you the option to select summary. So this is amazing. And I will go back and click on the invocation, this button. So you can see here that I am able to now take a look at the summary of this issue, which is one more. Yeah, that is the summary. Let me just show you. So if you do summary, so you have the summary. Maybe we'll retrieve something else. What about priority? Let us take a look at the priority. So we have priority, which is low, and for priority, it is not just priority; it is priority dot name. So we have to ensure that we know the JSON. So if you're using your own code, you can actually see that with the help of the managed APIs, we can retrieve priority, but we want to retrieve the priority name. So this is amazing because I don't have to worry about the JSON body. I can use this managed API. And by the way, you can go to the AutoBlocks website and you can learn about managed APIs if you want. So let me just run it one more time because I want to see how it works. Because now we are focused on the priority. So the priority is low. So this is a great start, I think, because by using the interface, I am able to connect to my Jira instances. I'm also able to write hello world. I'm now able to retrieve the issue details. Now, once you have the issue details with you, now you can do something else with them. Maybe you want to send this information to somewhere else. Maybe you want to, once you have the, let us say you have the summary, maybe you can create one more connection, and then for that connection, you can create an issue in another Jira instance. This is all I wanted to cover in this video. I will definitely continue this this journey of exploring AutoBlocks and show you other possibilities. I hope I have given you a good introduction to AutoBlocks. I encourage you to take a look at this new offering from Adaptavist. Go to their website, go to this website autoblocks.com, sign up, and give it a try. So that is all I wanted to show you in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.